Catherine in tears at the Remembrance Sunday balcony. But what was the true meaning behind this particular emotional outburst? As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time, and as ever, do take care of yourselves out there. I know of you are very kind and say the same to me, and I'm so grateful, but trust me, I do look after myself. Whatever you're doing though, it's this time of year, particularly if you're over here in the United Kingdom. Yes, it's vitamin pill time. Make sure you get your vitamin C, don't get your coughs and colds, all that sort of stuff. It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, you're lining all your tablets up and you kind of think, goodness, by the time you've taken them all first thing in the morning, it's time to get ready to go to bed again, isn't it? You look down the cod liver oil. Have I had cod liver? Have I had my iron? Have I eaten any spinach? Oh, goodness. And then, peanut butter. Have you had a spoonful of that? Yes. You're like me, aren't you? Yeah, absolutely. This is why we lovely get on, you see. It's so hard maintaining your health now, isn't it? By the time you kind of think, well, you might as well just lie in bed and hope for the best. You're doing that. Lovely. Very nice. Do relax, prop yourself up, get ready for this royal story. This, as you know, was particularly moving, I felt, because Catherine, the Princess of Wales, came back, of course, in wonderful style to celebrate, and I hate that phrase, but to remember, should I say, of course, the Remembrance Sunday and all what it means to people around the world. And what was fascinating about this particular thing was, forget the evil woman, the troll that decided to attack Catherine on the balcony for seemingly, in the cold air, looking a little bit chilly, she did become emotional. And as we saw, the Duchess of Edinburgh, of course, was very nice, just sort of patting her on the back, being a great support. I do like Sophie. She's a nice, no-nonsense woman, But the true story behind these particular tears was simply this, because it's around this time last year that Catherine started to have those, personal sort of situations, shall we say, regarding her health. And according to a source, and this is, with the full, I'm allowed to say this, shall I say, basically, it was kind of a thing of, for her, not only the Remembrance Sunday, but she remembers standing there a year ago and apparently, not only remembering all of her family that she also lost in the wars, but then an emotional moment came over her. And I've been told that this happens. Maybe ladies out there and gents who have gone through a similar thing can tell me this. She couldn't quite believe it was a year. She sort of remembered standing there, got a little bit emotional about it and thought, goodness, this time last year, this was just the start of the journey, the sort of thing. And that's why I often say here on the show, it's good to be empathetic to people and show sympathy. You never know what's going on behind that facade. Catherine looked beautiful, poised, elegant, and was showing the ultimate respect. Another source told me, though, that Catherine was kind of angry with herself inside. No need to be, I might point out, Ma'am, but apparently, she said it wasn't something that Her Majesty the Queen would have done. She liked the Queen's stoicism and the fact that she always kept the British, if you like, stiff upper lip. And you can understand that in many respects, because obviously that was her template. That was the person that so many of us looked up towards and thought, wow, she was so good in all those situations. I like that about the Queen, the fact that even though we were falling apart during the pandemic, there she sat in Windsor Castle giving us all hope in a marvellous speech. I think Catherine herself, obviously, as I say, a year down the line now, must be looking back at this situation and thinking, gosh, how could it have been? What have I gone through? We know recently that her husband, of course, Prince William, the Prince of Wales, said it'd been a brutal year for him. Of course, it's been brutal for Catherine, but as that source pointed out, she was very concerned of exactly how everybody was taking it, including her husband, simply because not only was he dealing with her, but with his father also, His Majesty the King. Now, for anybody who wants to go out there and be very cruel about Catherine, getting emotional on the balcony, I would say think again. You never truly know what's going on behind, as I say, that facade. And for Catherine, I think we should just spare her that moment. I'm sure the Queen wouldn't mind. And the other side of the coin is, it's good to let it out, isn't it? If you feel emotional or you are quite sad, as I often say here on the show, try and find something to laugh at. And I'm told later on in the day, Catherine's spirits lifted immensely. But either way, we are grateful that you attended, Ma'am, and thank you as ever for your service. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.